Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. Good to have you all with us on a Sunday night. And hello, Bonnie, Crazy Lou, Nature, Karen 82, Transcending, good to see you. Simon Eyes, Lizzie K, God Thunder, good evening, Karen 82, HR, Phyllis, hey, good to see everybody here. Crazy Lou, Marinee, Peace, Love, and Light, Mystic, good to see you, Mystic. Margaritas, it's a beautiful day. Hey, Kariba, good to see you. Greetings, Chesno. And we were on our Facebook group, Ashtar Command group on Facebook earlier today, and did a live broadcast there in the group just to make sure everybody knew what our rules were in our Ashtar Command group on Facebook. So, like I said, I use Facebook. I'm on TikTok. You obviously here, Pretty Angel. Good evening. And we're drinking water tonight because we only have a little bit of apple cider left. So we're going to have to get a whole new gallon of apple cider. Hey, Pretty Angel. Ed, thanks for joining us. Guy D. Johnson, welcome to the show. Hey, Deborah, Mandy. Anthony, welcome. Marine Step. Everyone coming into a show that's out of this world on a Sunday night here on planet Earth. I'm CmdrAleon. If you're new to the show, I'm host of the show here on TikTok. This is number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. And also, I am on WESU NPR Pacific Radio for 21 years, Sunday mornings, except for this Sunday morning, I took the day off from being on the air. Hey, Clifford. Good to see you out in Tennessee, my bearded friend. And we're going to have another great show tonight. We have no idea who I'm going to have as guests, but we will definitely be doing well. We have our moderators in here. You have to be over 18 years old. No smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no kids. Let's see what else is there. No foul language. Absolutely no foul language. We try to keep this show as professional as can be, as I do my radio show for 21 years. So this is not just one of those TikToks where everyone jumps on and argues with each other, has fights. This is an actual talk show. So when you come here, you'll know, if you sit here for a while, that we do run a talk show here. And it's way different than everything else. Hey, Mahansuk, user 880. Good to have everybody coming in here. The show from last night is on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. That was a great show last night. And if you missed it, you can watch it. It's on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News. All our shows are on that channel. So we always make sure all our shows, if you miss a show, you get to see a show on our Ashtar Command Spaceship News YouTube channel. Hey, Dawn, good to see you. Good evening, Gory. User 155, thanks for the likes. We want to get up to 100,000 likes. I also want everybody who's not following me to start following me, follow each other. My goal is every show to get people to get us up to 100,000 followers before summer. We want to do more outreach here using this medium. And by everyone doing that, you'll help us do that, help each other. If you're not at 200 likes on your TikTok to go live, everyone follow each other to help everybody go where they need to be. If you have 1,000 followers or plus, you can do audio and video. Velvet Voice, welcome to the show. And also we'll be talking about more and more as we get into March, the C5 events that are happening here in the United States, here in New England. Two of the major events we'll be holding here, one on the 13th of April at an apple orchard in Durham, Connecticut. And also we'll be doing another C5 with Grace in Ledyard, Connecticut. So we have two major events happening in the U.S. here on the East Coast. And the one in Ledyard, if Grace comes on, she can tell you more about it. There might be some accommodations available for people that wish to join us. Like when we do a C5, it's for a whole night. So it's going to be on a weekend. So if you're not coming from too far, if you're in New England, it would make more sense if you're in New England to make the trip up here, or Long Island or what have you. It might be easier. But if obviously if you're in California, we don't suspect you're going to take a jet out here for one night. We don't expect that. So, hey, Honey McReynolds, good to see you. I think folks they look at Christ as the last name. Yeah, so we'll get into the definition of the cosmic understanding of the definition of the Christ consciousness. And if anyone has a misconception, we'll find out. They can just tell me if anybody here, if you have a misconception about Christ consciousness or what that is, let me know. I can tell you the answer pretty quickly. Hey, CT, welcome to Jazzy Lux Angel. Good to have you with us. Christine Lovato. Hey, Johnny, good to have you with us. We have 3 of our moderators here tonight, maybe more. Pray for peace. We love that. Welcome to the show. Hey, good to have you with us. Raul, welcome to the show. Bumblebee, welcome to Victoria. Good evening. And good to have Rusty. Good evening. Hey, Yayan, Yaina. I can't always pronounce it wrong or something. Hey, Tiffany. 100 people left to get to the show. Let's see. Tiffany is, and I'm sure we'll do that tonight. So if you're not following Tiffany, let me see where she is here. Tiffany is at, she has 100. She needs 100 more followers to actually get to go live. So if we have, as we go into the night, if we have over 200 people, I'm sure we can get another 100 people to follow you, Tiffany. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. And let's see here. Before we do any, and we're also going to want to know there, let's see, before I take anybody on, I learned last night, again, not to just accept anybody live. I want to know what you want to talk about. I see there's somebody who wants to go live, but I will not go live with that person unless I know what the topic is. And once I hear what the topic is related to the ET visitations disclosure area, then we will do this. And then you have to be over 18. And that's the other thing. So it's so the person that wants to go live, you're not going live until we know who you are, what you are, where you are, and what you want to talk about. Or else I will just knock it out as host of the show. And that's how we do it. We keep it professional up here, Good to have everybody here. I'm from Texas, and I'm 28. That's good to know. Go to, what do you want to talk about going live? What would you like to share related to our encounter show? Once I know that, then I could have you on here. Oh, the world always needs more love. Absolutely. Good to see you. World needs more love always. I'm just trying to find out what my potential guest wants to talk about. And welcome, Mary James Henry. Once I get a better idea of what they want to talk about, we'll bring them up. We know that they're now 28 years old from Texas. The question is, what is the topic? Let me see here. I'm 60 from Texas. Congratulations on the 60. So the way we do it on the show here, you tell us what specifically you want to come up live for related to the subject matter, and we'll be happy to have you on here. So I'm not getting a response as to a topic. Okay. So the rules here on encounters, if you have a specific area, you've been visited by extraterrestrial intelligence, you've had recent UFO sightings, if you had any, visitations, crop circles, anything like that. Just to give you an idea of what we talk about here. We don't get into the paranormal. We're not, there's other people on here that do it on TikTok. We do not talk paranormal. It has leaped in here or somehow gotten here once in a while because of UFO conversations. But if you have anything paranormal, we are staying away from that subject. Solar Warden? No, I've not heard of Solar Warden. Billionaire says, stop it already. Stop what? Stop what? What are we supposed to stop? I love this. People make statements. Stop it already. And welcome to the show, everybody. This is Encounters, the #1 UFO social media, spiritual UFO talk show here on social media, the top show on social media. We're going to have a good night tonight, folks. And I'm pretty disciplined. I've been in radio for a long time. I've been a news journalist back in the day in the 70s. And I've been on radio for about 21 years on NPR Pacific Radio. And I'm on here enjoying every minute of it. Hey, I am Claus. Good to have you with us. Good to see you here. Linda Lou, hey, welcome. User 578. And we'll get into some... Velvet Voice. I had many encounters with what? Velvet Voice. I might be able to get you up here, Velvet Voice. I see. Do you see me? Hey, John, good to see you. And Velvet Voice, who you have many encounters with what? Who? Velvet Voice. I'm waiting for the rest of the sentence. I saw a UFO when I was a kid. Oh, Star Nations. Interesting. Velvet Voice. We're going to bring you on. I want you to bring on your camera. I'm going to invite you up here. Velvet Voice is going to be our first guest. And again, I usually like to go one at a time, sometimes two, just so we don't get botched up with too many people on at once here. Let's see here. And let's see, Velvet Voice. Wherever you are, I just sent you an invite. And if you accept the invite, I can bring you up here. So all you have to do is you accept the invitation, save it, and then I'll bring you up on the screen. Okay? We're going to do some interviews. I always like to bring new people up here because there's so many people out there that have had certain experiences. And Wise Girl, let's see, Wise Girl, we want to get Wise Girl up here too. She has to have, she had some stuff going on. Let's see, Wise Girl, hey, user 601, welcome to the #1 UFO spiritual talk show on social media. I'm Aleon, CmdrAleon of Encounters. I'm also from Mars, to give you our background here. I work in Christ consciousness. I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command, and I do C5 organizing and C5 training here in New England. And so we are involved in a lot of stuff here. Let's see here. I'm going to try to bring that person on. She's here. He or she is here somewhere. Let me see where I'm going to try to find that person. I probably have to go backwards to find them. Of course, that would be the case. So we're going to go backwards. Velvet Voice. There it is. I just pressed my invite to you. Velvet Voice, who mentioned Star Nations. I'm very interested in that. You've had contact with Star Nations. Let's talk about that. If you got my invite, accept it, and I'll bring you up here live on Encounters. Let's see, why is it not? Oh, now it worked. I think it's K Kristen or something, 08225, Velvet Voice. Okay, we'd want to definitely talk to you. I don't go live. Well, that's a bummer. If you go live on my show, you're going to be, I'm a contactee, by the way, of Velvet Voice. I work with the star people, the star beings. So I'd love to hear you. If you go live, how many people want to have Velvet Voice go live? How many of the 150 plus people here would like to hear her story, his or her story? Now, Velvet Voice, when everybody says they want to hear you go live, that's because we respect everybody out here. I've been doing this stuff for a long time as a contactee in the 60s. Had my first experience with star people, men and women in light blue space outfits in a flying saucer. So this is the show to do go live. You know, the only way we're going to get to a world where there's going to be transformation if we're all bold enough to go live and talk about it in a show that's going to be very respectful and honoring of who you are. You know? So when you tell me stories like Star Nation, you get me interested as a host. Human language dilutes my messages of oneness. Oh, not in this program. It's not going to be diluted. If you bring a message here, Velvet Voice, you will not be having a diluted message on encounters. You know, you have to disguise your voice or something, whatever you need to do. Come on here. Everybody wants to hear your story. I'm Paris Starshine. Paris Starshine. Okay, that's fine if you're Paris Starshine. Come on up. But we don't want to go to SoundCloud. We want to have you on here as a guest on our show. I mean, your spirit brought you here for a reason, you know, your inner spirit. Listen to your inner spirit. I'm sure your inner spirit's saying, hey, yeah, you should go on and talk to the commander. Right? Mm-hmm. We learn more from verbal communications than just sentences. Christ is the way. We have Christ consciousness here. I work in Christ consciousness in my workshops. So you're amongst brothers and sisters here on my viewership all over the world. Everybody will honor you. You're in good territory here on Encounters. Guaranteed. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Star Nation thing is interesting. I'd love to hear that. I'm sure everybody here would, but I guess we're not going to get to hear your story, which is unfortunate. So we'll continue on. And if there's any first-time folks watching this show who have over 200 plus followers, you can come on here with audio. If you have 1,000 followers on TikTok, audio and video. The rules here, you have to be over 18. No vaping, no smoking, no drugs, no foul language. Definitely no foul language. No kids. Hey, first-timer user 601, welcome to the show. Glad that you're with us. And for people that are not sure what kind of TikTok this is a talk show. We don't do any gaming here. We don't run around with disco balls on our head. We do a really professional talk show here. So welcome. And we will get to some interviews. If you want to be interviewed, you have 200 plus followers. You need to tell me what you want to talk about in relationship to this subject of disclosure, visitations. It could be UFO related, crop circles, anything in this area. And you have a story related to it that we need to hear, a personal encounter, we want to hear about it. We're not getting into any paranormal stuff. We're going to stay away from all that. There's other people out there that can do that. My focus is on space, is on star nations, star people, space beings, spaceships from other planetary worlds, all the things that disclosure, specifically disclosure. So we have very, very, very focused show here, late night. And it's mostly 11 o'clock. Usually we're a little bit late tonight, 11:14 p.m. But we're going to get into some stuff here, I'm sure. And you know that things are happening. I'm so out of it because I don't read any website news or anything. So I don't even focus on that. So I always hope that we're going to have good interviews like we did last night. And do you focus different Earth? God Thunder, do you focus different Earth multiverse? So I think you're asking me, do I focus on the Earth or the multiverse? Yeah, we talk about the multiverse, the parallel universes, all those things. We get into a lot of that. We go all over the place with this subject for new people. Yes, so half pints. So the bright orbs. So certain orbs in space that you're seeing in the skies are actually, there's different kinds of orbs. The big orbs that are radiant orbs in space are usually ships. Right? They're circular craft. They're highly advanced craft, so to speak. There's different kinds of orbs in ET orb areas, but I'm talking about the ones in the skies above in space that people see or record. Those are usually a different type of spaceship. Hey, Dustin, good to have you with us. Love always, good to have you with us. Frank the Tank, welcome to the show. Hard to say. How many ships do we have on Earth? You mean extraterrestrial or terrestrial? If you're thinking extraterrestrial, it can vary. There's no way of giving a number to it. They come and go. Oh, the half pint say they visit you. Oh, Dustin, welcome. Half pint, you say these ones visit me at my house. Half pint, Ray, we're going to bring you on here if you want to come on here and talk about it. It's easier for me to hold a conversation with you on the show here. So if you're able to come on here, accept my request, and I'd love to hear your story. So all you have to do is accept the request, press the accept button, and you'll be able to come in on the show with CmdrAleon here. My first guest for tonight. Hey, let me bring my volume up here. Hey, half pint, good evening.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Pretty good.
And I noticed your first time on here. Would you like to turn your camera on? Can you do that? You know how to do that?
No.
You don't know how to do it, correct? Or just because you don't know how to do it, there's a little icon with like a white line across it. It looks like a camera. Press that and press save, and you'll go on the screen. You'll be on live. I do this to all my guests.
I'm too shy to show my face.
You're too shy. Okay, then we'll do it this way for now until you're unshy. So tell us where you are, and tell us a little bit about yourself and about these orbs that you're talking about.
So I'm in Pennsylvania, and I think I'm like in a triangle. And these beautiful blue orbs are always coming around us all the time. It's really amazing.
And the blue orbs, can you describe? Are they coming around at night, and how big are these orbs?
Well, they come around at night and during the day.
Okay.
And they're all different sizes.
So can you tell us what the biggest size is versus the smallest size orb?
Well, the biggest orb I've seen is the orange one in front of my house, and it was so big. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it made us feel divine. And then when it left, it took the electricity went out in my county.
Well, that's wild. How big was it? Was it as big as a car or bigger than a car?
Oh, it's bigger than a car.
Okay, would you say it was as
huge.
big as? So when you say huge, as big as a jet? Like if you had to take a helicopter or a commercial airline jet.
If you had to put it in a round area, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it is.
So that was probably a very highly advanced spaceship. That blue orb was a spaceship. Yeah, absolutely. That's really amazing. So it took your whole county out. When did that happen?
About 2 years ago.
2 years.
And ever since then, so my mom has seen them here all the time. I mean, she lived here for 20 years and was snapping pictures of them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Do you hear a sound coming through on your end?
No.
Okay. So this is getting interesting here. See, you have to understand something about me. I am very much, I have a lot of, I am very connected. I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command, so I'm very connected telepathically off planet with Kadar Manka, but that's a whole nother thing. I was just
Well,
hearing,
I'm something here.
yeah, I'm hearing something now. There's definitely something happening here. Um, and I have to realize again that you and I don't know each other. You're on my show here for the first time, and I'm glad you're here. So I was hearing something, and that you're not even hearing it, but I'm hearing it. I got my earpods on. Did anybody else hear something, or am I just losing it? Okay. I have a feeling whoever the people are, the beings in the blue ship, I think they're connecting with you right now. I
They
think they
might
are.
be.
No, I think they are. And I'm telling you, whatever's happening here, um, I think you're having contact right now. I don't normally say this, but I can tell for sure that something's happening. Whoa, what was it? That was TikTok. I just got a get. That was just a gift from TikTok.
Well,
That
it's
was
not
real.
bad, right?
No, it's all good. It's all good. What's happening right now? I'm feeling some energy shifts right now. My whole body is vibrating, and I know you have they're with you. Those beings that from 2 years ago, I can tell you they're very advanced spiritually, and I believe that that something was just happening a moment ago. And please, people, don't say it's me or it's somebody else. Don't do that. Please don't. I know when people start doing that, I'm saying, no, it's not you. Stop thinking it's you. It's not. So,
So, me and my husband hear zippers every so often. Sounds like a big zipper being opened and closed.
okay, can you explain what you mean by big zipper?
I don't know. It just sounds like a big zipper outside or in my
Uh,
room or
uh, uh,
whatever.
uh, like a zipper sound? Like a sound like a zipper? Are you hearing anything
Yep.
right now?
Sounds just like a zipper.
Okay, you have nothing going on in your room. There's no anything going on.
Nope.
Okay. I'm must be it must be me. I'm like tuning into every I'm like very sensitive to sound, and I can hear it really clearly at times. I can hear it when we're not saying if you're not saying anything, I'm going to listen for a minute. Oh yeah, I can hear it. There definitely is something happening here, and I just want people to know on this show that I have no control of any intergalactic things that are happening here. So please forgive me. I have no control over it. Okay. I do know that on a galactic level, it's very interesting that this is happening, and this will all be documented. So now we have something else happening here that I didn't do anything. Half Pint didn't do anything, but as soon as she got on, I started sensing energy. I'm not talking about spirit energy. I'm talking about extraterrestrial energy. I have the ability to know that. I know the difference. So this is interesting. So that blue orb, that big orb, that's really sticking in my head now. Can you tell us
Well,
about the?
the big one was orange. I have the
Mm-hmm,
small blue ones around us all the time.
mm-hmm. Oh, the big one was orange. Okay,
Yeah.
well, interesting. And the small ones, how big were they?
Well, they can go from a basketball size down to a little one right next to me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Pretty
And
cool.
are you in a rural area or in a mountainous area? Where are you?
I'm right in the middle of the Appalachian woods.
Wow, you're definitely up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Wow, I can see why that would be a perfect place for them to communicate with you. Yeah, that's amazing. You know, that's an amazing thing. Have you had any beyond the orbs? Have you had any dreams or visitations by space beings at all?
So, my husband is very, he's more in tune with this.
Mm-hmm.
And, see, they're trying to talk to me, and I'm learning how to, but my husband, he hears them all the time. And he
Mm-hmm.
walked outside one night and he's seen two, he, he described them as big monks standing there praying.
Okay, let me understand what you said. Your husband went outside and he saw two monks standing there praying,
Yeah, they're about, I don't know, 10, 15 feet tall.
10 or 15 feet tall. Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Okay, now everyone watching this all over the world understand you're watching Encounters, and we have Half Pint in the Appalachians with us. So your husband saw two human beings that were 10 to 15 feet tall, correct?
Uh, yeah. And they look
No,
like they're
I
standing
believe it.
there praying with robes around them.
Interesting. Interesting. You know, I had a guest on a while ago. I think they were in Tennessee. I don't know what state they were, down south in the mountains. And they said they have seen giants, humans that are giants that are really tall. So I find it fascinating. If they're 10 or 15 feet tall, wearing what looks like a monk's outfit, standing there praying, then that tells us something. What we're seeing is that there are giants of different sizes that exist on our planet, and your husband and yourself actually have the ability, if you so choose, they must be living amongst you in the woods, in the mountains there.
So that's what I'm thinking because this one day
Hmm.
I'm looking across the street and all of a sudden this flash of light comes down like a lightning strike, right? But it didn't sound like a lightning strike.
Hmm.
And you could see a 14-foot tall person across the street.
Really,
And then my
14 feet.
husband has seen him walking through the alleyway, through the yard.
Hmm.
So,
Walking through the yard.
yeah.
Um, this is amazing. Has your husband tried to communicate with them?
Oh yeah, they communicate with them all the time.
Really? And what do they talk about?
Just that we're protected and not to be afraid
Hmm.
of anything because nothing should we should be afraid of.
Mm. And has he found out, like, do they live inside the mountains? Where do they live? Where do they come from?
Well, we haven't found that out yet.
Now, I'm really,
But
I
he
think our
keeps on getting
audience.
this vision of a mountain, but he doesn't know which mountain it is.
Hmm. Ah, so he seems to, you're not separated from it, but he seems to have the one who's having the communications with these tall beings that are 10 to 15 feet tall.
Oh yeah, and then he took my dog out that night, and the dog
Hmm.
was out there playing around, like he was all happy.
He was playing around when the tall beings were there, or just playing around outside?
No, he's just playing around outside, but it was like he
Okay.
got really happy and.
Got really happy.
Hmm.
Well, this is an amazing story. I've done a lot of stories on radio and here in the last year, but this is really confirmation, another confirmation that there are tall beings or humans that are 10 to 15 feet tall, which is obviously taller than any of us that are here. Have it's only been these two? Have you seen other like men, other like different ones like women as well as the men or the monks, or what has your husband seen?
Well, he's seen the monks, and then the other one, I don't know if that's a male or female. I don't think it's either.
Hmm. So it has no, like no male or female sex to it.
Right.
Okay, that's possible. You know, I mean, That is possible, right?
Yeah, that's possible. And then, not more than 2 years ago, I'm snapping a picture in my kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and I snapped this picture of this. I don't know if you call them Draco aliens or lizard aliens,
Yeah, those are
but
usually not the.
okay, but I have a feeling that the ones that are around us are chasing them off.
Well, they should be because those are the negative ones.
Yeah, because I don't have, like, I can go out at 1 o'clock in the morning and not have a fear of anything.
Yeah. No, what they're those the tall ones are very advanced and very spiritual. They're chasing the negative ones off your property. Yeah, the Draco and the other ones, no good. So yeah, do you do any? Well, do you have their protection? I mean, hey, look, if you got them there and they're protecting you, and they live there, they're not going to let those other ETs get on your property. They're going to chase them right out, and they'll leave because there's no way that the Dracos and the reptilians can go against those tall beings. They are operating in a very high frequency, so you're in a very beautiful situation. As I listen to your story, you're very well protected. That's a beautiful thing. Oh man, that is just.
I have a lot of portals on this property too.
Oh, you have a lot of portals on your property and mountains there. I wouldn't imagine. I would imagine you would. Do you know about the portals? Are they more cosmically oriented or galactically oriented? And the portals, do space people come through those portals where you live?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you would have what we call a galactic portal or portals that allow the space people to come in on your property from outer space or other galactic areas. That's pretty amazing. It really is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying this right now. Because
Well, I
they'll
am.
come
I
up
think.
to me. I mean, they don't totally come up to me because they know I'm still not sure about myself yet.
Right,
But
right.
they'll come up to me and sit right in front of me. I have pictures of it.
Yeah. So when you're less shy about coming on camera, I'd like to see you show us your property. And maybe even see if we can have your husband on here and have one of the tall beings come on our camera. So what I'm saying is, I think if we can facilitate them to feel safe enough to come on the live here on TikTok, one of the tall beings, obviously they're tall, so they'd have to somehow, he somehow would have to show the camera to them. Your husband would have to hold it up on TikTok so that we can actually see one of these 10 to 15, 14 feet tall human beings that are there. I think that I'd love to have you do that. Matter of fact, I'd like you to do that. If not, it won't happen tonight, I'm sure, but I want you to talk to your husband about when he's out there with them, having the cell phone on my live. Usually I go on at 11 o'clock at night. If we can facilitate that, I think that will be a first on any worldwide media to actually talk to these tall beings that are what you're talking about, 10 to 14 feet tall. So I'm a contactee. I've had contact with positive spiritual beings of light since I was a kid in the 60s. So to give some background, I know you've been watching my show a little bit. Uh, I'm the kind of person, because I'm involved in all this, I think our audience would love to have one of the tall giant beings speak, if possible, through our TikTok. Do you think you can facilitate with your husband getting that together?
Sure. Oh, and the other thing is, I wanted to let you know is they fixed his heart. He had a heart attack and they fixed him.
Your husband had a heart attack and they fixed it.
Yeah.
How did that
So
happen?
there's
Can you tell us
only
about
like
that?
there's only like four people, three, two or three people on paper that this has
Hmm.
happened to in you know what I mean, in the world.
Yeah.
And my I had a heart attack here, and they fixed him. They fixed
Hmm.
his heart. It blew the doctor away.
The doctor couldn't figure out how that happened, how his heart was having problems. And these tall beings, how did they fix his heart? Can you tell us what they did?
They fixed a artery or an artery or something that could have killed him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is, I can see why the doctors would say, how could this even be possible? That is an amazing
Now
story.
he's died and came back before, and they took him up. You know, he had orbs all around him, and they
Hmm.
told him it wasn't his time, and they had him come back. And ever
So
since then, he's been highly in tune with them.
yeah. So when did he die? What year was that? And when he left his body, when did they send him back into what that's called a an out of body experience? What is I think the terminology is when you leave your body and come back, and
Right.
it's not your time yet. OBE experience. What year was that?
Um, Probably late 80s. I'm thinking like
Late 80s.
89 or something.
Okay. And okay, so late 80s. NDE, that's right, near death experience. Thank you for correcting me. I had it the wrong way. But so when he came back, he had all these other abilities that happened after he came back.
Well, I think he already had them. I just think they got heightened.
More amplified.
Yeah.
So very interesting. So is your husband sleeping right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think one of these nights at 11 o'clock you can have him not sleep and come on the show?
Yeah, I think I can.
Okay, well, I got to say something. I'm going to listen to your phone for a minute. Everyone just listen for I'm getting like you have a lot of energy on your property, which is also affecting your phone and not in a
Oh yeah,
negative way.
my phone messes up all the time. I'm telling you. I can't even do videos because my phone won't allow me.
Your phone won't allow you. So I want
Uh-uh.
everyone on here to listen to her phone. Okay, we can't make this stuff up on the show. Okay, right now, I'm not doing anything. It's happening from your property. It's affecting your phone. Let me see if we can hear anything. So I'm going to do a test. I can't believe I'm going to do this. And we're going to do a test right now with your phone and with the energy coming through, which I think is really high. And I'm going to ask, are there any space beings communicating with her right now? I'm just going to listen. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go for it because that's what I do. That's what I do.
I don't
I'm
mind.
out there. Okay. And everything is protected. The show's protected in Christed light. The show's protected by the Ashtar command. This whole show is protected. So we're going to listen and see if we get a response from the the spiritual beings that are protecting you and your husband. I know there's something going on for sure. Without a question, people in my audience know something's going on. And we're just going to listen for a minute and we'll continue our conversation. Now I've got my earpods on. I hear very low sound if you listen. Well, that's just you coughing, but let me see here. Yeah, you can hear it. It's like it's hard to like not a whistle, but sort of like yeah, it's something. You know, I'm very tuned in.
So every so often up above us, you can
Mm-hmm.
hear like a hum. It'll go
A hum.
a hum, and
Mm-hmm.
it sits there for like 3 hours.
3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think that hum is coming from a. Uh, I'm not totally sure, but I'll have to meditate on that. like a hum. I have a minute to tell you my family's, and we're going to bring Slyester. We'll bring you on in just a moment, Slyester. We'll also bring you on. So I do see you about your UFO story. But there's something definitely happening right now. There's a number of my viewers have heard the sound when I'm not talking, um, and I know it's very amplified. So by you validating what you were just saying about the hum and all this other stuff, your whole property is very activated on a galactic level. Would you say that would be correct?
Oh yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I actually know that to be true. It took me only a few minutes to try to figure this out, but yeah, it's definitely you are definitely in a very high frequency in the mountains there, in that rural area. It's pretty amazing.
So I also found out that from 16,000 whatever until the 1700s, until the
Mm,
uh, Brits came into the United States, there was
right.
Indians on this land, and I live
Mm-hmm.
next to this place. It's called Bigler's Rock, and they
Bigler's
used
Rock.
that for a religious thing, not religious thing, but you know what I mean?
Spiritual
Ceremonial
Indian
thing or whatever.
ceremonial thing. Interesting.
Yep.
So you're on indigenous land that's very spiritual.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That makes very. Do you know what tribe lived there? Do you have an idea of what tribe lived there?
Well, supposedly the tribe that lived here were very tall.
Very tall.
Yeah.
So when you say tall, the tribe that lived there, the indigenous tribe, were they as tall as these monks that are 10 or 15, 14 feet tall?
No, they were about 7 feet, I think.
Okay. Okay. So I'm taking a leap here. Do you think that the indigenous tribe that lived there communicated with these tall beings in the mountains?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Tartarian. I know about the Tartarians. Very interesting. When some person said Tartarians. So I think you've got something there. As we're talking, I think you've got something there. Something that many people have not experienced that are on my show. Some of them might have. I've had, like I said, one or two guests that have had seen tall humans on their properties in the last year. You're the third person with really distinct information and how your husband's communicating with them. I think that's absolutely fascinating. You're watching Encounters here, the late night spiritual UFO talk show here, uh, the top UFO talk show on social media. I'm your host, CmdrAleon from Mars, also with the Asteroid Galactic Command, working in Christ consciousness, contactee, and all that other stuff. So, um,
The other thing is if anybody comes out here with bad intentions, that is not a good thing.
yeah, they're protecting your property. They're not going to let anybody negative or negativities or anything negative on your property, correct?
Oh yeah, I have a couple children that sometimes have bad intentions, and they've been chased out of here. So
Yeah. No, it's a sacred place. It sounds like the where you are on the property you're on is very well protected by these tall beings, people, what have you. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I want to thank you for sharing. I want you to come back on. We're on. We're on usually at 11 o'clock. I want one night when your husband's awake. I would like to do an experiment with him going outside on your mountain property and also trying to call one of the tall giants to communicate with us on live here on Encounters for the first time on planet Earth. I'd like to facilitate communications with them. Would you be able to get that together for us?
yeah, I think we can.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, folks, on Encounters. This is something that's never been done on worldwide media, on NBC, CBS, YouTube. I don't care who has the best UFO show on YouTube or wherever. we do things real here, and we're going to make this happen. So I'm looking forward to it. So when you see me on, and I'm usually on most times, I might take a night off here or there, but usually I'm on at 11. We'll do a show with your husband outside and have him communicate before we do this, since he's in contact with these tall beings, to have him tell them what we want to do, and then we'll get them on camera. If we can get it videotaped, our show is videotaped anyway, we're live. We'll document communications with these tall giants on encounters. How's that sound?
That'll work.
Okay, you got a deal. You heard it first right here. We're going to do this. We're definitely going to do this, And I so thank you for being on here. Your story is amazing.
Well, I watch you all the time. I think you're very amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I humbly accept that. And I thank you so much for being here. And we're going to let you continue listening to the show, watch the show. And I try to do one guest at a time so we get a full story. I think that's a great way of doing it. So I thank you so much for being here, Half Pint. And what's your first name?
Mary.
Mary, nice to talk to you, Mary. Welcome. I know you've been in my audience, so I'm glad we got you on the show tonight.
And I hope your viewers have a very excellent night and keep looking up the stars, man. It's just going to keep getting better.
Oh, yeah, I totally believe it. Thank you for being here, Mary.
Okay.
All right, folks, we're continuing on our journey. That was incredible. So now what we're going to do is, one of these nights during this week, her husband, when he's awake, we're going to do a experiment. And if we can get one of those tall beings that are 10 or 14 feet tall to look into the camera and communicate with us on the show, I am going to be blown away by that. This is what I do, folks. You see, this is why I do what I do. I know this can be done. You see, I have no question this can be done. It's interesting how we meet each other here on this show, how I meet all kinds of really interesting people on my show that have all kinds of interesting things that are actually happening. You wouldn't see this on CNN. If we do this and we have a giant 10 to 14 foot person talking to us, you're not going to see it on CNN or BBC or CBC or China or Russian TV. You're going to see it right here on Encounters. So show your support for what we do. We've been on here for over a year and a half now. Show your support. Gift us. Venmo us on my Cash App on my main page. You can donate whatever you want on my Venmo. To do what I'm doing, it's nice to have your support. Become a subscriber. We're going to set up a goal for the Galaxy goal. We're setting up a goal. Why is there only one on there? Okay, can I edit it? Let me see here. I don't know if I can edit it. Let's see. I will put it in there. I want to add more galaxies than one to the thing here. But anyway, show your support for what we're doing as we're between guests. We're going to, I know some people said they've had things happen. If you have 200 plus followers, you can come on audio, 1,000 plus audio and video. These are the rules of the show. You have to be over 18, no kids, no foul language, no smoking or vaping, no drinking, no drug use of any sort. We want to bring people on here and keep it as professional as we can. I do the same thing on my radio show for 21 years. Okay, Sai, let me try to invite you. Yes, Sai, I'm going to invite you. Accept my request. I just sent a request. It should pop up on the screen. And then we can put you on here. Let's see here. Yeah, I sent you a guest request. I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see if it works or not. And we just had Mary on and told us some really interesting things. Okay, so if you want to try another account. And again, if you wish to be a guest, a first-time guest here, as long as you have 200 plus followers or 1,000, from 1,000 you can do audio video, 200 plus I get to have you on audio for the first time here on Encounters. Mary's story was great, Tiffany. And we're going to have Mary on again with her husband, and we're going to see if we can actually talk to one of these giants on her property. Where else would something like this happen, folks? Really, think about it. Where else, whether it be TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, you're getting all this stuff here. This is the kind of cool thing about it, right? This is what the commander does. This is how we open up and bust the matrix and get people to know the cosmic understanding of our own planet. I've said it before about Earth. We used to think that we were the only ones on the surface world, right? Yes, that's right, Tiffany. The people that used to think, we were all taught growing up in school that on our surface planet, that there were human beings that maybe, 6'5", 7 feet tall, maybe, if you're lucky. And then you find that there are giants that live on our planet, tall people that are human, and all over the world. And we find skeleton remains of some of those giants, and it has been done. And then we think, well, maybe they lived at one time, not realizing that maybe they're still here, that maybe they're living in the mountains around the planet Earth. Maybe they have places they live in the mountains, and yeah. So, hey, Niper, my ex-husband was 6'8". But look, just think, Nightbird, 10 to 14 feet tall humans that live on Earth right now. That to me is amazing. It just goes to show you that we don't know everything about this planet, and we live on it. We don't know half of what goes on this planet. This planet is like an intergalactic planet because we just don't know everything about our own planet. Right? It's pretty amazing when you think about it, people, that not only do we have giants existing among us, not in this, that are actually in places where she is, in the Appalachia, in the mountains, that they probably come through portals. These beings could come through intergalactic portals. They could live in the mountains. Definitely just some incredible stuff going on here. So not only do we have giants living amongst us, but they're smart enough to know that it's not safe to go into a place where there's a big population of human beings. Like a Stargate, avocado. Yeah, a Stargate probably would be apropos. And she talked about a big orange orb, bigger than a helicopter, bigger than maybe a jet, which most likely was a spaceship. But she has other orbs that she talked about on her property. So it is an amazing time. Let's get up to 100,000 likes. It's 12:13. We're at 37.2. We have 197 people here. Everybody who's not following the show, please follow me. Become a subscriber. That'll help to our CE5 equipment. Subscribers can subscribe for a month, 2 months, whatever you decide to do. If you have the ability to do that, become a subscriber. We have now about 32 of 100 per month. And we're trying to go higher than that. I think we can do it. Gifting is also a good way, and also my Venmo app. You can use the Venmo app on my Cash app here in my profile before the show's over. Yeah, Esther, we're going to try to bring you back up here. I press the guest button. Usually when I press the guest button, it'll pop on your screen. And if it does, then just press it and accept the guest request, and we'll get you on here. The Bible records are incorrect. 4546 Charles. Actually, a lot of the stuff in the Bible is incorrect, but the tall giant beings, they do exist. They are here. As you heard my guest talk about, they're on her property. They're 10 to 15 feet, 10 to 14 feet, at least in her story. Her husband sees them as 10 to 14 feet tall. 10 to 14. Okay. When you fix it, Sly will be happy to have you on here. I'm going to bring, let's see. We'll see here. We'll see what's going to happen here. My TikTok's running good. And
Everybody,
hey, friends with Prairie April, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Hold on a minute. Let me shut this TV down so I can hear. Sorry about that.
No problem. So Mary's story was quite fascinating.
Oh yeah, yeah. It sounds like she's got some pretty high advanced space beings up there. I myself have those. You know, I had talked to you about my I call them the old woods, because there's
Mm-hmm.
very big old trees up there. Now, similar beings to what she's describing is those and the angel like light beings
Mm-hmm.
are often up in those woods.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, so it's quite a hike up there, and I was trying to get up there today actually, but we had some slushy, slurry weather, and
Okay.
yeah, so I couldn't do it today because I wanted to bring some technology up there with me and set it up in the opening. There's a circle of old trees that's a clearing in there, and I wanted to
Hmm.
film that today, but I didn't dare, because it was like that wet, slushy, rainy stuff, and I didn't
Yeah.
bring technology
No,
and get
that's
it
it.
all wet.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that.
So
It's better to wait when you have a dry, perfect day to do the kind of things you want to do
yeah.
in the woods like that. Because you're all the way up in northern part of the state of Vermont.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm like way up. I'm like up and literally my place is up and on a mountain.
yeah.
So
And for Mary, her and her husband live in a mountainous area in the Appalachians
yeah,
where all this is
I was
happening.
listening
So
to that. That's pretty interesting. And she says she has some portals going on her property too. Now,
yeah.
I'm wondering, like I wonder if she's got other dimensional beings coming and going from there because she's got those smaller blue orbs coming in and out. Now the big one sounds like a ship for sure, the orange one.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
absolutely. It sounds like there's a ship.
mm-hmm.
That's why I had to ask her a few questions. I didn't know. Kit Kat says zipper portals. She says she hears a zipper sound, a zipper. I tried to figure that one out. I haven't figured that out yet, but
Huh.
um, it'll be interesting when we get our husband on, who's having the direct experiences a lot too, to see what he says about the sounds and about these tall beings that they're actually having on their property up in the
Yeah, I
woods.
don't think I've
Yeah,
experienced. I've heard the humming. I don't think I've ever experienced the zipper sound. I've also experienced the up here in the mountains, the metal grinding sound that people have reported all through the world. Like they've heard this and recorded this, like almost like a
it's
grinding.
all like a grinding sound. I've heard people hear trumpets and recordings of
Yes.
sound, like
Yeah.
someone like musical trumpets or something.
Yeah.
I've actually quietly watched a lot of videos on that over the last 5 to 7 years, and I
Yeah.
find it very interesting. I don't really have an answer about it, and there are people that think they know the answers, but I'm still up in the air as to where it's coming from or
Yeah, everybody
whether
has
it's coming from
their
outer
theories
space.
on it.
You
It
know?
to me it sounded like a large ship is what it sounded
Hmm.
like. That's what I mean. That my theory is because I heard it. I literally heard that with my own ears, and it was like I stood there in disbelief because I could not believe that other people were not hearing this. I mean, it went on for about 7 minutes. This sound went
7
on.
minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty, and it was very loud. And it carried on for like 7 minutes, which is, a pretty long time for something to be making a grinding noise like that. It was actually pretty cool, but there's no
Wow.
heavy machinery or anything like that would be in, up in these woods that would be doing the sound. I mean, the sound came from everywhere. It was
Wow.
it was
Yeah, that's
pretty,
what they say about the trumpet sounds in all these different countries.
yeah.
They hear what they sounds like trumpets, and they go on going and then the trumpet goes down, and then it repeats itself like a trumpet.
Right. I've heard like when people talk about the portals, like most of the portals I've experienced have not had any sound attached with it. There
Uh-huh.
has been like maybe one or two that has had almost like a popping sound, like it was starting
Mhm.
to open.
Yeah.
But nothing, it was like maybe almost like the sound of like if you were to light uh, what am I thinking of here? What are those little a not a firecracker,
Not firecracker.
a sparkler, a
A sparkler.
sparkler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It sounded something like that, very light, like the popping sound that a fire. Oh my God, I cannot talk tonight.
A
Sparkler
sparkler.
would make, yeah, almost like
Okay.
that, but very, very, very faint, very, very light. But all the other ones have been like soundless. There's no sound to them.
Yeah. No, it's definitely possible. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah,
The more the people sometimes think that these trumpet sounds are, are sounds coming from space,
yeah,
and that could be too. I mean, there's no real wrong answer because
right,
there's no real definitive information as to where it's coming from. All we
exactly.
know is that it's happening all over the world. It's been happening for a number of years, and it's starting to happen again. Religious people think that these trumpet sounds are something to do with religion and their
Hmm.
religious belief systems, but I don't think that's it. I think it's something way more than connected to any kind of religious belief. I think
Right.
it's more galactic.
Yeah, those are my thoughts on it too. And
Yeah.
it's not just because, of me being a contactee or anything. I just my feelings are that it to me it sounds like it's more extraterrestrial based than it is you know um spiritually based.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that too. I think that's true. So many things to deal with the changes that are happening with everything around the planet and off our planet. And there's so many people here. If anyone wants to join Friends with Fairies and myself, you're watching Encounters. If you're new to the program, we're on most nights at 11 o'clock, the top number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media and on media in general. I'm also the host of the FM program on international broadcasting on WESUFM.org, Pacifica NPR Radio in Connecticut. I'm on every Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1. And then I have my TV program or my TikTok show here. And then also these shows are recorded. If you miss any of our other past shows, my YouTube channel is Ashtar Command Spaceship News, which has most of the encounter shows on there. So, and I think somebody wants to join us. Let's see. Oh, Ethan. Ethan's been on with us before, so we'll bring Ethan in here. And Friends Ferry is with me tonight,
Hi,
joining.
Ethan. Is he in?
And Ethan, he'll be in a second as soon as the TikTok thing stops. Hey, good evening, Ethan.
Hello, beautiful
Welcome.
people.
Hello,
Hey, welcome
Ethan.
back. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you on my real account.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, okay, this is great. And I think you can bring your camera on, I think, on your real account, correct?
Yes, I can actually, excuse me.
I'm following you on your real account now, Ethan America. So if we can bring you up on the camera, I know Friends with Furries can't come on because she's probably got cheese on a cheese outfit or something. Because that's what happens.
I've told you, Commander, it is not easy being cheesy.
It
Yes,
is
yeah,
not.
it really is not. And she actually works at a cheese place. Well, Vermont has all the cows, so cheese would be apropos for that. I know. I used to live up there. Um, but hey,
So,
welcome back.
yeah, thank you. You were kind enough to let me come in and tell my story about um, a plausible abduction
All right.
um, throughout my childhood.
Yes, I do
Which,
remember.
thank you again. I mean, that was, I don't get to tell that story enough, or the reoccurring story enough. So thank you very much. But
Oh, you're most welcome.
I would like to also uh, tell my story of the only possible UFO interaction that I've ever had.
Okay.
So in 2016, I was in Eugene, Oregon. At the time, I was bouncing around all along the West Coast, just doing some traveling with an ex at the time. And while I am admittedly a believer in UFOs, this has no bearing on this particular non-insequential encounter that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my ex at the time was doing travel nursing, and I was just following along and picking up odds and ends jobs along the way while we traveled and experienced the country. And at this particular time, I picked up a job with Aaron's Furniture,
Mm-hmm.
delivering furniture to houses around Eugene, Oregon at the time. Which, for those of you who do not know, Eugene, Oregon is the home of the Oregon Ducks. Very small, irrelevant town in the middle of Oregon. Beautiful place. I don't care for the town itself, but um, in the middle of Oregon. All right. If you look at it on the map, it's in the middle of Oregon. Um, on this particular day, I couldn't tell you, gun to my head, sometime in October, because we arrived in September, early October. This is early October 2016. So if you want to go and look at the databases of UFO reported sightings, I don't know if you'll find something
Right.
along the lines, but just for reference. At the Aaron's store in Eugene, Oregon, there's this little side alleyway, I guess, that there's a fence that separates the commercial aspect from the residential aspect. I think there's a neighborhood behind it. And then there's a Sonic directly next to the Aaron's Furniture.
Okay.
There's this little alleyway where we back the truck into to unload or load up the furniture, right? So Aaron's store, Sonic, in between, there's a little driveway, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
at the end of that driveway, right at the fence that separates the residential area from the business area, the Sonic and the Aaron's, there's a tree. I don't know what kind of tree. Don't hold me to it. But a tree,
Mm-hmm.
full-grown tree. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, broad daylight, no clouds, no nothing. I happened to be out there at the time. I smoked cigarettes. I was out there smoking a cigarette, and I just happened to be looking up, and I see coming from west to east a white dot, just a white dot,
Mm-hmm.
moving at an intentional rate. Not a my first inclination was like, there's a dandelion thing flying through the sky.
Right. That's
But
right.
this thing is moving at a deliberate pace, straight. There's no wavering. There's no sound. It's moving at a direct rate, and I thought as I'm watching it, because this whole interaction lasted maybe 12 seconds.
Right.
I'm out there smoking, and I see it coming from west to east. Thinking as soon as it starts crossing the the view where the tree is, I'll see some kind of break in it.
Right.
But no, it kept moving. So that gave me an altitude estimate of around, from the dot that it was, I couldn't see that at 30,000 feet. So I'm guessing about 3,000 to 5,000 feet cloud height.
Right.
No discernible shape to it or anything, but a dot. Just imagine a white dot flying through the sky. I can see it breaking the plane through the tree, through the leaves, everything just continuing to move. And at that point, this is about 5 seconds into it, I thought, oh my God, what am I looking at right now? And I see it continue on past the tree and then past the horizon where I could see it, never breaking speed, never slowing down, never speeding up, just continued on in a direct line. And again, yes, I do believe that UFOs and extraterrestrials are real, but this has no bearing on that. I've never experienced before or after a UFO sighting. This just boggled me. If I ever imagined seeing a UFO experience, it was not that. I did not. I thought it would be more profound, more distinguished. Like I could describe to you a craft or something that I seen.
Like if it was like Ethan really close on encounters, if it was really close, you'd be able to describe a definition
or like even something
or defining
in your
what it
background.
looked
like
like.
That's what in my head. Like if I ever come across it, like that's what I'll see. That's not what I've seen. It's a white dot. Again, I can only gauge altitude because of the deliberate pace and the fact that it wasn't obstructed by close objects to me. And if it was further than that, I wouldn't have been able to see a dot. So 3,000 to 5,000 feet, I think, is very reasonable. Something like what a Cessna would fly. For those of you that are watching, a Cessna is a small single craft airplane that will fly. I mean, you're field croppers, your crop dusters,
and they're pretty low.
About what you could
those
expect.
Kind of things. Yeah, they're kind of low. I've seen those.
But I couldn't describe to you any kind of shape or anything that I had actually seen. This does not have any bearing on the story that I told with where I thought I might have been abducted or anything like that.
Right, the two separate things.
Single instance, the only single UFO experience that I could actually describe, but it shook me. Again, this whole thing lasted 12 to 15 seconds. I went back in after, and it's funny because the guys thought that I was like undercover boss because I come in every day with my shirt tucked in, khaki pants, and I'm just delivering furniture. I'm not used to doing temp jobs, so I came in like I was used to coming in office attire, and I walked into the store, and I'm like, guys, I don't know what to say to you, but I think I just seen a UFO. Right. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. It's broad daylight.
Right.
I'm like, I tried to explain it as best I could, exactly like I just did. And nobody was having it. Nobody was
having it.
They
didn't want to know.
Yeah. That was weird. That was that was definitely something not of us and not terrestrial. It was.
And what year was that, Ethan? What year
2016,
was that?
Early October.
Okay, only a couple of years ago, not too far back. See, that's the thing. You're not alone. There are a lot of people who've had experiences like that, so you're really not alone. Oh, make sure you don't do the vaping. You can't do vaping.
Oh,
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yep, I've gotten flagged up.
No more vaping. You gotta take that stuff. Leave it alone until you're off the show. Put it down. I'm gonna teach you something. Spiritually, your body is your temple. Leave the vaping thing alone. Wait till we get off the show with you, and then you can go back and do whatever you need to do. Don't even look at it. Just look at the camera.
Right. Yep.
I'm going to focus you on the camera.
Hey,
leave the thing alone.
It's not
leave it alone.
You. I put it down so you don't have to mess with it.
There you go. All right. This way will be good. So I think there are many people like you, Ethan, men and women all over the world that have had experiences like this. Um,
And I think
and
most people do see something like that and don't think
yeah,
anything of it. And why should they? Because it's not a thing that
oh, beautiful dog.
makes any. Thank you. He's 10 months old now.
Oh wow,
But yeah, it's not a thing that you would stop and report. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't.
no, it wasn't significant enough to report it too, because
No.
but you'll probably have many more experiences this year. You won't believe, and I think a lot of people are. You'll have UFO experiences, what I call spaceship experiences of non-terrestrial craft, and you'll say, Commander, and it'll be July of 2024. Just using that as a hypothetical. And you say, Commander, I saw something amazing. I was traveling at night in where I am, the state I'm in, and it was nighttime, and I saw this huge ship or something. You're going to have one of those experiences. Everybody will.
I
It's
hope
just
so.
the way it's going to happen. It's going to happen because it's time for people
Well, I
to see
mean,
things.
what, 1.5 million people in Arizona and Phoenix saw the Phoenix lights. What are
Right.
you going to
That's
tell
right.
them? You're going to tell them they didn't see what they saw?
Now that'd be pretty hard for the Air Force to do. We want to have a town meeting in Phoenix, and we want to tell you the lights you saw, the Phoenix lights, that was just a bunch of little drone airplanes
Yeah.
information. That's what they were. They were just, have big bright lights on them. We just wanted to test them out late at night over Phoenix. So, if that
Without any
story ever,
explanation or any warning.
no explanation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And friends with furries with us. Do you want to say anything, friend? It's April. You any
No, I
questions?
just think that's
No,
it's a
no, no,
pretty
no vaping. He's doing the
Oh,
vaping
thank you.
again.
Oh God, I did
I
it
have to
again.
remind you because TikTok will have a thing pop up warning me, and I'll be in trouble.
Well, that might
I
be
don't want.
why they banned me randomly and I couldn't join a live
Yeah,
for a minute.
that's why you have to stop doing that, man. You got to
Yep.
put it down. It's going to take you time. Focus not on that. It's unimportant. It doesn't need to be important. It really doesn't.
Yep.
Okay. This is what we do in my workshops. I don't do anything like this, but I also want to keep people tuned into their body being so important that your body is your temple.
But
So
I
you got
think
to keep it
most
clear.
people who encounter something like that, it's something
Yeah.
similar to what I experienced. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything you would have thought anything of. It wasn't worth mentioning or talking about.
Hmm.
Very short, very brief, and they didn't realize what they had seen.
Yeah. No, it's true.
And
just think that that's crazy because it's like something that's that significant. I mean, a UFO just flew across the sky, and it is, and it's just
Right.
people just
Stay.
they don't even acknowledge it, or they're so blinded by everything going on around them that they don't see that this stuff
Right.
is happening, and it's just mind-boggling to me. Like I every day live in awe over everything that happens around where I live. I mean, I just like it's a magical place, and people when other people experience things and they see it, like they know they've seen it, they've experienced this, and it's happening like in public, and people are so blinded by cars and things going on around them, people and stores and this and that, that they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they're
It
not.
just goes right
yeah,
by.
because why should you pay attention? I mean, to be fair, I'm not shaming anybody who doesn't.
No.
They just, what reason do you really have to pay that close attention?
Well, the reason why they can't pay attention is because they're too wrapped up in the matrix, going about their everyday life. I mean, we all go out a life. The difference between an Ethan, a CmdrAleon, April, and a lot of people in my show here is that even though we do things like other human beings every day, we have different experiences going on, and that is the difference. Yeah, we're not just totally going to work and coming home. We're having experiences, whether it be the first little thing of a dot of a spaceship going across the sky, like Ethan was sharing, or whether it's a big a multiple amount of armada of little UFOs or very close to a big ship. Everyone has different experiences, but the thing that connects every one of these experiences is that they are unique. They're all different.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a dot in the sky or a big orb that is radiating a bluish light or whatever, it makes a big difference.
It really
I'm inclined
So,
to believe that there are a lot of people that have experienced something as inconsequential as what I experienced without
right. That's
ever
right.
having thought twice about it.
Right.
And therefore, they just don't think that they've ever encountered something like that.
Or they might think they did. I mean, they could also have the opposite
Sure.
effect. There are going to be some that don't think anything about it, which is without a question. Say, I thought it was something, and then just go about your business. Then there's the other person who says, wow, I just saw something, and they're with their wife or the girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And say, I just saw something. So it's going to be really a mixed bag, so to speak, Ethan. Like you said, you're going to have some that do and some that don't, and it's all cool. If they have it happen again, the ones that didn't think anything of it, then they're going to start thinking, wait a minute, what's going on here? The first time they might not. The first time they might say, I'm just going to do what I was doing. Maybe that was just a bird up there or something. Who knows? That's just normal human nature to respond that way.
The thing that it actually gets a lot of attention is the pilots who come across these types of things. And I think airplane pilots have
Yeah, absolutely
witnessed so many of these events that were very similar to what I experienced, where they didn't think too much of it, and they didn't see a very clear, distinguished craft or something, and so much of it goes unreported. And a lot of it for at least for their profession, they don't want to jeopardize their position. They don't want to jeopardize their careers. So why should you? What's the incentive to report something like that? But I'm inclined to believe that I feel like that's the majority of UFO encounters, is not something like where you can see the cylindrical object, where you can see the saucer, where you can see something that's been hovering, whatever. Most of them are very brief, very short, and indescribable, as mine was, where they just see this thing take place over a period of 3 to 15 seconds long. And I feel like that's what most people.
But you know what? Actually, some of that would be true. But in my years of experience, Ethan, the video footage that I document on my main page here, some of the stuff is like very minute. But there's a lot of people, and they've been on my show. They have hovering spaceships. They see the ships.
Oh, absolutely, it exists.
You know what I mean. But there is those minute little things, like you said, they do exist, and that is we have such many different types of reports. In the MUFON, a lot of their reports will be varied, which I find fascinating. I look at some of the stories and some other UFO sites for what the reports are. Some are spheres. Some people say they see big orbs in formation. It's just interesting. We're talking the Foo Fighters, the historical Foo Fighters. It's so interesting, all these different types of things that people see that we're talking about. It just keeps the subject in a very unique field, where airline pilots have reported some of the documentaries that I watch on cable, and I do watch documentaries if they're related to this, depending what it is. They did a whole thing about pilots, and there were Japanese pilots. They saw these big spaceships, saucer-type ships, go right past their commercial airliner. These are stories where these pilots were asked questions, and they made a documentary. I don't remember what it was. It was on a few years ago. But there are different pilots, and some pilots do report things, and they record it on their video camera. Other pilots, like you said, they're very much not wanting to talk about it, because obviously they're in a field of transportation where it's not something you normally would talk about in the 70-year history of aviation. It's not something you normally hear, right?
Yeah,
but there are
feel like
pilots
the smaller events don't get reported enough. And it's the Bigfoot effect, right? If you don't have like a real clear story and picture of what's going on, like nobody's really gonna buy it. I don't feel like it,
Right.
and because of that, I don't think it gets talked about enough. Like the most common type of, and I have nothing to reference this. I don't know that
Right.
this is the most common type of sighting or anything,
You're
but I
just
would
you're just
imagine
applying your theory of what you
I
think
would,
could be
yeah,
possible.
exactly. I would imagine that what I experienced is the more common type, um, and that's not the sexy story version. That's not the thing that's going to get talked about or put on a documentary as much. But I would definitely wager my salary on the fact that more people have experienced something like what I experienced versus
Right.
the ones that make the headlines, the ones that make the documentaries, the ones that make the that are movie worthy or story worthy.
Right.
Right.
I
A,
think that's
a
true.
14-second, 12-second experience of a dot moving across the sky is not going to jar a lot of people's attention, and I
No,
don't
I
expect it to. For anybody watching, I don't think that that's going to convince you or not. But I'm telling you, this is not a thing that I experienced. I'm a sentient human being as much as anybody else. I've flown a
right.
lot. I've seen a lot. I've been all over the country. That is not a thing that happens regularly.
Right.
That was a weird thing that happened, and I bet most people who have experienced any kind of UFO
Mhm.
sighting experience something similar versus the the ones that have the story worthy ones where they
Well, I
went
can. I'll
stopped on the
tell.
road.
I'll tell you. I'll tell a story here, and I want to thank Ethan for sharing the second part on your live. So I appreciate that. But I will. And you can always come back. I have a feeling you're gonna, in your experiences, you'll probably have more sightings that are more definitive in the future. I have a feeling you're going to see more things. Just
I am out in Nevada, so we'll see.
yeah,
Oh,
you'll see stuff. Well, Ethan, thank
Yeah.
you for coming back on, man. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
All
you,
Appreciate it.
right,
Ben.
peace.
Take
Let's do
care.
this here. And that was Ethan in Nevada. And let's see here. Did I press the thing here? There we go. All right. And so you're watching Encounters, the Sunday night edition. And we're at 58.7 thousand. We have 186 people. Do the math. Everybody tap. We want to get to 100,000 before 1 o'clock. We're going to sign off, I think, at 1. And so we want to get everybody to tap in here. If everybody does their homework, mathematically, galactically, we can get to 100,000. I am watching the numbers, folks. Don't think I'm not. I'm multitasking here. I'm interviewing people, looking at the numbers, and we don't want to have any people slacking off here. If you remember in your high school, you thought you were able to slack off because the teacher didn't see you. There we go. We'll get to 100,000. We're going to do it. We're at 59.5. So it might be only 2 or 3 people tapping. I want everybody tapping. I want you tapping away. It sounds like a song. Everybody. On this,
it is a
on
song,
this,
Commander.
yeah. On this TV show, everybody is in the audience is included. So our audience is all over the planet. So everybody gets included in this. We don't ignore anything. Everybody's included. And we'll take on another guest too. So if there's anyone out there, you have to be over 18, number one. No vaping, no smoking, no drugs, no drinking. And you must not be a kid. You have to be over 18 and to get on the show. No cursing, no obscenities. This is a show. This is not like a normal TikTok crazy for all, do what you want to do thing. So welcome to Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I'm your host. And let me see. We don't know.
Somebody
It's
said they
last.
saw a being with wings in 2016.
Somebody here.
Yeah. Let's see if they got a note.
Let's see. Who was that person about the wings? Let's see here.
Miss something. I don't have my glasses on, Commander.
Oh, no problem.
Miss Daniel, 77.
Oh yeah, I know Miss Daniels. Yeah, that's interesting. My family's been seeing UFOs. Let's see here. I think. Okay, God Thunder. We have to get you up to 200, God Thunder. we'll have to, God Thunder, when you get to 200 followers, we'll be able to bring you up on our show. God Thunder, everybody follow him. Get him up to 200 so we can come on live on the Encounter show. God Thunder. Hey, Mindful Pass, thank you for the roses. And let's get it up to 100,000. I know we can do it if everybody gets involved, right? And we are talking about the various things. We had Mary on before from the Appalachian Mountains. She was incredible. We're going to get her husband on with her and see if we can actually have the giants in the mountains where she lives on our property go on camera with us live one night this week. And hopefully, that was really
Hopefully,
weird.
that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I just saw, I probably a car going by on the other street. I just, never mind. I thought I saw something for a minute, folks. I got a little bit distracted. That happens, but I do know that I feel I'm very amplified up. So let me explain something about being amplified up. Like my consciousness has been amplified in the last couple of weeks. And the way I can only describe it is I can be sensitive to everything, sound in a different way. Like, we all hear sound, like cars honking horns, fire sirens, cars going by, whatever it is. There's sound everywhere, right? But I'm not talking about regular things. I feel like I'm amped up and I can hear things differently. And I think all of us have been amped up to some extent in what we do, who we are. I think that's only going to increase. So I think, April, you know what I'm talking about when I say I feel amped
I
up.
absolutely do, because it's been happening with me too. Like I
You
feel
too?
like the energy is just, and it's been like the last few weeks has been so intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, every sense of me has just been like opened up more. I feel like everything is more, like I'm hearing more and sensing more and feeling more things this last few weeks. It's been like I feel like another layer has opened up.
Mm. And I know on here when I'm live now, not only is my whole frequency turned up, when I have people in my live, I hear, like, I think, like, to put it in words, I think people would understand. I'm CmdrAleon, your host of the show. I've been hearing, and I don't mention it much the last few weeks, when I have people on all the time now, I hear an amplification of sound. I
Mm-hmm.
can't describe it, but yeah, we don't use that name. We're not, that's not the being we're communicating with.
No.
Um,
No, but I know what you mean. And just so there's been no confusion, that's why I've been muting my mics a lot. Just because I don't want anybody being confused with any of that. So
Hey, thanks, James. Yeah, and I know when I'm with April on here, I don't ever say it, but I do know that we are hooked up into a Christed vibrational pattern of frequency.
absolutely.
And absolutely. And with that said, um, I know that my own self, that my galactic connections with the Christed beings of light, not just Kadarmanka, my own self, I know for a fact that I am amplified to the point where I can communicate directly, as I always have, but even more so with Kadarmanka. And also, I do believe we're going to have some contacts our way soon. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, are you feeling that too? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
definitely, definitely. I think I've talked to you about my recent contact with the angelic beings that have been twice now, and the last 2 weeks have made their appearance to me. One was at my front door, and then the other one was Wednesday night. I didn't talk about it on the air, but yeah, so there was a second contact that happened with me of an actual physical contact, where I actually got to have a conversation with these beings. I think for now, I'm going to keep it to myself. I have talked to the commander about it.
Yeah.
But I will be sharing what I find out and what
Mhm.
is brought to me later
Is
on.
it okay? Is it okay if I just mention just a little bit? It'll be
Absolutely.
it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is something nobody knows. Friend of the prairies and I, she's communicated with me privately the last 2 days, and so you need to know some things. I'll put it, until she knows more. But we do know this, that she met some space beings. Can you describe a little bit who they were at all when you met them?
These are the space beings that are my space family, my actual space family. They're the angelic beings of light that first contacted me when I was 5.
Hmm.
And they have been recently in contact with me. There's been a lot of spaceship activity going on around me, which I've shared on the
Yeah.
show. But specific ships that have been coming around a lot, and they finally touched down physically with their beings and made contact with me about a little over a week ago now was the first one, and the second one happened Wednesday. um, I was brought to their ship and was talked to about some things, and there is to be another contact that is to happen. But like I said, for now, until I get more
Right.
information, which was supposed to be my trip today up to the old woods,
Mm.
is to be another contact, but I physically, my human physical body couldn't
Right.
make it up there because it's a quite a hike, and the weather was just really bad today up here, so I could not, because some of the hike is very steep and pretty dangerous when the ground is slippery and wet and icy. So
Yeah.
I physically just couldn't do it today. But I will be doing it soon. I'm trying to figure out technology, and
Yeah.
what
That
I
takes
can
time.
bring with me to see what I can document out of this. If it allow me to document anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
didn't want to make a big thing about it because it
No.
takes,
No. No.
you know.
No. No. I understand that, and to keep it is not a big thing yet because it's just something new that you're dealing with. I'll just say this much, just because we're still learning about this.
Hmm.
But they, in our communications, these angelic beings from the ship, they've known of me as well.
Yes, they knew about the commander, and I was told that I was guided by them to the commander, because I had no idea about this show. I didn't know anything about this show, and I tell you the truth, wasn't even on TikTok that much until I was
Right.
guided to this show, and they were the ones that made this happen. They told me they were the ones that made that happen, because I am meant to work with the commander.
Yes.
And they had, messages for the commander, and there's more stuff I'm supposed to share. I'm supposed to share this experience with him, specifically. That's for the private
Right.
messages.
That's a private thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the private part. But the thing is, from what April has told me in her communications in the woods with the angelic space beings, that I'll just say this: that I'm going to have a contact with them. Okay, and that has nothing to do with anything that's been happening lately. It's something new and something different. But a lot of what I'm saying, I'm just going to leave that alone. But for now, all our communications is going to, whatever their intent is on a beautiful way. It's only for me. That has nothing to do with ego. It's just that there's a contact with them for me coming up, and I'll know that. And I probably, when I experience it, then I'll know whether I should speak about it or not. But like April is saying, some things we'll be able to, once we talk to each other as things progress, we'll share what can be shared, and the stuff that's supposed to be kept private with the angelic beings that came down in the woods on their ship. Um, we'll take it, step by step.
Yeah.
I think that's
So,
good. There you
so
go. Right, some of the things happening here anyway.
that's what's been going on. So, sorry if it sounds a little cryptid where I'm not meaning it to be. It's
No,
just, we don't want to keep anything from, especially our regulars in here that
right.
have been going through all of this right along with us.
We're
And
just we're just trying to we're just trying to learn what this is going to be,
yeah,
because you know, for you, April, you've had a lot of contacts, and you're with the space people, and this is even more. This is like really direct. She is like not dreaming this. She's in the woods talking to the angelic beings that came on a spaceship, and
they actually brought me into their ship.
they have
The
a
first.
ship.
Yeah, they have a ship that was actually brought into their ship, and like I said, there's supposed to be another contact, where because they were like essentially breaking the ice. The first two contacts, the first one I got startled, the second one because I wasn't expecting to see anybody standing there when I opened my door, but the second one, I wasn't scared, and I tried to remember everything. The commander would be asking. I was channeling the commander, trying to think of all those questions, to
Yeah,
ask. And I did ask. Joe, believe me, at first I was dumbfounded because I couldn't believe this was happening. And
yeah,
I just kept like wiping my eyes. I don't know why I was wiping
right.
my eyes, but
And can you tell? I mean, let's just for public knowledge, we can. I mean, because I wasn't there. Can you tell the angelic beings, what did they look like?
so they were tall. They were tall, very tall. I would say 7 to 8 foot tall.
Hmm.
And they were wearing, um, they they were wearing they were glowing. They had beautiful, like glowing skin,
Hmm.
long blondish hair, but they had energy like wings behind them.
Hmm.
If I don't
Okay.
know how to explain it, but they
No.
had at first they looked like they were just like solid bodies, and then they had when they had walked up to me, they were in a big giant like energy ball, just walking, and
Hmm.
it looked like a soft blue, like glow of energy that was
Wow.
around them,
Beautiful.
and they were in this ball. And the when they came to me, they were wearing like it was almost like a soft blue metallic-y suit, but
Hmm.
their wings weren't like they didn't look like they were physically attached to them. They almost looked like they were floating behind them. Um,
That's interesting.
but they were very human-like, very, very human-like, with the exception of their skin. Let me see how I could describe their skin. Um, their skin was like, almost like it was very pale, almost like a blue tint to it, but like a
A blue
pale
tint.
white.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like pale white
That's
with like a
interesting.
blue glowy tint to it. It was sparkly. Their skin was kind of
Okay.
sparkly.
Sparkly.
Yeah,
Wow.
and all of them, the eyes were blue. There was two males and a female, that were there, at first, and then at first it was one being, then the other two appeared, and then I was brought up into their ship. And their ship was very clean, like almost like white roomy, and it looked very small at first, but then there was a light that kind of came on, and the ship itself looked, when I was going to the ship, it didn't look big at all. It looked small actually. And
From
then
the
when
outside,
we
yeah.
got inside, it looked humongous, like almost
Really.
cathedral like. It was huge inside,
Wow.
and then there was lots of beings in there. And at first I was scared, and then he asked, the male asked without using his mouth, he asked, but I could hear him clearly like he was speaking to me, and he asked who was there to stand up for me. And then there was a set of people standing to the side, and they put their arms around each other, and I immediately knew that they were my family.
Hmm.
And then Annabelle was there with me, and Annabelle, for some, and don't ask me, it sounds like a dream, but it's not a dream because I was awake and just going to let the dogs out.
Hmm.
But sorry, I just dropped my thing.
That's
But
okay.
um but Annabelle was with me and grew to a larger size and was standing there with me, and she held her hand out to mine and held my hand the whole time. She was holding my hand, and she like a light squeeze to it and to let me know that it was okay. And she spoke in English and said, instead of fairy talk, and I could understand her completely, like understand her like she was a actually
Right.
human being standing next to me. And
Hmm.
and she said, Me and my kind are standing up for her."
Hmm.
So,
Interesting.
but
And
then I snapped out of it because it was like, if it was like almost like it was a dreamlike state that it was happening in. And then I snapped out of it, and then I was like, I felt like I was having word vomit coming out of my mouth because I
oh
couldn't stop
no.
talking. I was like, okay, so can you guys stop nuclear war? And I
Right.
felt like they were dumb questions to be asking these really important beings that were there to have this moment with me. And I was
Right.
asking them 20 million I felt stupid questions, like, are you guys all coming? How many of you are coming? When is the big contact gonna happen? I had a million questions, and
Wow.
basically, some of the questions were answered, some of them weren't. And he was like, he like touched my forehead and told me I needed to calm down because I was real
You,
worked up then.
now, now,
Uh, so
now,
he
what
like
a lot.
touched me, and I immediately went to this like this very
Calm down.
calming space. and
Yeah. Oh
and he
wow.
said he told me all would be revealed to me, but he also had talked about the commander and said that I asked them about the commander and if they knew about him, and they said they did. And they also said that I was meant to work with the commander. And they said that we had work to do, not just me and the commander had
Right.
work to do. And that the commander was to play a big role in all of this. And I didn't get a whole lot of more information about what the big
Mm-hmm.
role was. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be
See.
the third contact.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. It will be. We'll have to wait for
they
that.
said they were
See.
going to be
So.
back soon, and I knew I was directed to go without them telling me that I needed to be in the old woods. Um,
Right.
I was hoping, like I said, it was going to happen today, but I couldn't get up
No.
there, and I was so
It's.
mad. Like
It's.
I was out there like an animal
Yeah.
watching the sky, like
Oh
clear
my
up.
gosh.
I couldn't get it to
I,
clear up.
I, I can tell April's going to do. So I can say this a little bit more publicly, and all the stuff that will be between us will be on the level of when we know more. But I do know this, that the fact that your communications of them, they said they know me, CmdrAleon, so they must know me from before I came to Earth on some level. I don't know. I'm just projecting hypothetical, response, which is all I can do. When you meet them the next time, I'd like to know how long they've known me for and how they've known me. That I think, when we get, this is why this is such a process. A lot of it, we're just keeping these little things here we can talk about. But once I know more about the angelic beings, which I think some people said they were Palladians. They might be Palladians.
Well, they looked to be Palladian to me, but the only difference is that these were more angelic looking beings.
Angelic. Interesting.
because of the wings, and
Hmm.
the first time that I had contact with these beings when I was 5, their wings are actually, they can use their wings, and they
Hmm.
actually physically flew me up to their ship by holding my hand
Wow.
with their wings. So,
Wow.
and it's the same beings. So but when that other girl was on, I can't, I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now, but the girl that had the markings on her, the
Yeah, the
triangle,
three markings. Yeah, yep.
I I also have that marking on my arm.
You have three
I have
markings
the
that say,
I have the triangle on my wrist.
one night we're gonna have
I'll
to
take
get
a picture
you
of it and send it to you, but yeah, I have the
yeah.
marking on my wrist.
Or maybe one time you come on live when you're not all on cheese,
Crazy.
and we we
When I'm
without
not
the
crazy.
cheese we can see the mark. I think that'd
Yeah.
be interesting.
It's not
And
on
I
my
think
arm though, it's on my wrist, and
on your wrist,
it's a
okay.
clear triangle, yeah.
I think we'd
But
like to see that.
yeah, but yeah, so I yeah, so that's what's been going on, guys. That's why little it's been like I've been like a little quiet last few times on the air. It's just because I've, had a lot going on, and I'm listening to these people's stories, and I'm like, I just want to be like word vomit and say, guess what, guys? Oh my God, all this is going on, and I'm so
Yeah,
excited, and like, but it to me, it's like they want to keep things simple, and they want to
yeah, they do.
because they're also contacting me too as my family, and they also said that without a doubt that I have been being protected this whole time, since I was little, which I didn't know. And then I was also told, because I had gotten really sick one time, because I was in 2 really bad car accidents when I was about 6 years ago, and my legs were pretty damaged in the accident. From that accident, one of my legs got it really bad, and I had developed like these. My leg turned kind of black a little bit at the bottom
Hmm.
part of it, and I
Hmm.
had developed this. I don't know, this like weird bubble thing happened on my leg, and then it broke open, and then it caused a really bad infection, and I was really sick for a really long time because of this. And when I was sick from this, I was put into the hospital, and they just could not get this infection to go away. And
Hmm.
they finally ended up wrapping my leg and sending me home. Well, and I didn't never talked about this before, but
Hmm.
I was actually visited by these beings. But it was in a dream state, so I didn't know if it had really happened or not. Not until recently did I realize that it was actually they were actually there, because I thought I was dreaming, because this was
Hmm.
before I started really becoming really open. And they healed my leg. My leg
Hmm.
is still dark and black, but they took that infection away overnight. I mean, these doctors have been fighting with this, and they were talking about taking my leg. It was that bad. And overnight, I had gotten the visit from these beings, and I thought I was dreaming, and they healed my leg. Now, my leg is still marked and still ugly, but it's healed. You know what I mean? It's functioning. I can walk, and hold a full-time job down, and climb into tanks and act like a monkey, and it was because these beings healed my leg. So
Yeah. See, that to me is a beautiful story because it just shows that these beings will always be there to protect you.
yeah, I'm
Um,
not the
I
only
think
one
that.
though. They said you too, because of your Ashtar Command contacts, and and the beings that work with you, but they all work in unison together. And this is
Mm.
also what I was told. And I was told that you were like basically like you were like this supposed to and are going to be this huge messenger. What more they have to tell me about it, because I don't know, because they said
Yeah.
we were meant to work together. They said all this stuff, but
Hmm.
they're gonna, I guess this next contact will give me more information.
Hmm.
I even tried to get technology. I'm like, can I have
Yeah.
something so I can prove
Well,
that,
this is this is
yeah, I
this is
tried.
this is this is April. What I'm getting here, I perceive. You've known me for a long time
Yeah.
now, and we're at 80,000. So we're only 20,000 away from 100,000. We have 192 people. Do the math. I only know there's a few people tapping. I'm very psychic in that way. I know there's a lot of people not tapping. So in a beautiful way, everyone tap together so we get up to 100,000 before 1:30. Because 1:30 we will be ending the show for tonight until tomorrow night. So let's do it, everybody. Let's do it. Also, gifting. If you have not gifted, you have a lot of
Oh
TikTok
yeah,
coins in
you
your.
have to
If you have a
gift.
TikTok
Have
coin thing,
to
do it. I'm going to set up the.
set your galaxies up. Oh,
I
do the
can.
whales. Do the whales, Commander.
Well, I can't figure out how to change it from one thing to the other,
Oh,
but I'm going to try to get the galaxies, more of them. But I also, getting back to this, that if you do meet with the angelic beings, tell them.
oh,
Well,
thank
hey, Karen,
you.
thank you so much for that. When you do meet with them, tell them that my right leg around my back area and my knee.
I'm way ahead of you. I already thought about that. I already thought about that. That is like locked into the back of my head about
Yeah,
healing you, because they fixed my leg like it was nothing. It was like they in my dream they had placed this it, it's gonna sound silly, but it looked like almost like a um not silly putty, but like a like jelly, like a jelly substance. They
a
just,
gel.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and they just like rubbed it over my leg. Bam, the infection was gone. My leg stopped hurting
really?
immediately, because my leg, it hurt so bad it felt like it was on fire all the time. It was really painful. And I don't take narcotics or anything like that. I don't
Yeah,
do That's not me. I don't do that. I don't even like taking ibuprofen. I hate it. I
yeah,
will not do it unless I absolutely have to. I will not
yeah.
take it. And so they placed this stuff on me, and I was like, whoa, because they had me sit down in this, like, it looked like a dentist chair almost. And they just guided me, and they had me, and I'm thinking I'm dreaming, so I'm just going with it, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
So I sit down, and their hands were so um like almost like cool to the touch, but it was so soothing, and they were smooth. They were really smooth. Like there was no, like how when you touch somebody's hand, like you could tell like if they're a hard worker or not. They've got that little
Yeah.
feel to them, but their hands were so soft and smooth, and they just like swooped this stuff down, and it just like sucked up into my leg, and boom, I was better. I
There
mean,
you
the
go.
pain
Right.
was immediately gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
no kidding. And I'm up and I'm bouncing around, and I'm like, really? And I was like, this is really cool. I was like giving them thumbs up. I'm like, thanks, guys. The stupid,
Thanks.
stupid stuff, I thought I was dreaming. So I
Yeah.
would have done that if I, known that these beings were actually there. But I'm like, like this dumb excuse my mouth, but dumb person, and I'm putting my thumbs up, and I'm like, thanks guys, so I felt so dumb doing it, but I'm sitting there doing that, because I'm
Oh,
thinking
I,
I'm
I don't I,
dreaming.
I don't think they felt that way. I think
No,
sometimes,
I was
you know.
excited because my pain was gone, but I thought I was dreaming, I'm like, but oh God,
Yeah,
I shouldn't
definitely.
have acted like that, because now I feel stupid, because
No,
they
don't
were
feel that
telling me
way.
I'm going to be some kind of communications or something. I meant to do something, but they're going to tell me more about it later. But
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, and these special beings that come from traveled from across the universe, and I'm giving them thumbs up like a dummy. I'm like, yay.
Oh, don't even think that. Don't even think that way. You're fine.
They were
The other thing
laughing at
is,
me.
I'm sure, and because they come from a state of Christ. I mean, obviously, Christ consciousness and that love, which is so beautiful. And
Yeah.
the other thing about it is, whatever it is, when you do see them, make sure it's dry. I know you're in the woods there.
Mhm.
Make sure that it's dry. You're not going to slip on ice or
Oh
when you're
yeah,
up in that part.
yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
know these woods very very well now. I've
Yeah,
been up in them, so I spend most of my time up there, and I thought if not anything, if that's not the time that they're going to come, I can go up there and play the flute for the fairies or something. I don't know, but
yeah.
I'll do something. But
Well,
I just feel like it's as soon as I get up there that I know that there's supposed to be something. I can just, when you just know and you can feel it in your
yeah,
core, I know I'm meant to be up there, and I have a feeling they're waiting, so.
yeah, they are. And it's one of the things. So yeah, when you see them again, and you will on a nice, dry, clear night or day, whatever, you go to them at night or during the day.
During the day, I could not see to
Oh,
get
during
up
the day.
there at
Okay.
night. Yeah, this would be a
Oh,
day
you got.
contact.
You
Yes.
know, good. Okay, it's safer to know where you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, let them know about my knee. It's starting to feel better. I've been doing a lot of meditation and just relaxing, and so that's. I mean, I feel really good. It's just that's been a thing for the
Yeah.
last few days
I will
for me.
def
That it hasn't affected my consciousness, but it certainly is something
it,
I think
yeah.
about.
Yeah, I'm sure it's probably super irritating. I can imagine.
Oh, it is.
But
Thank you, Tiffany.
I definitely had that in the back of my mind because of my experience with them healing my leg. So I've been thinking about it a lot because I don't like seeing anybody hurting, and it bothers me that one of my friends are hurting. So
Yeah,
but I definitely
and
have that in the back of my head.
yeah, Susan Skollett's asking, fairies are related to Christ consciousness?
Yes, yes, they are.
Hey, Susan, that's one of our friends, Susan. Yes, they are. They're related to Christ consciousness. Oh, they operate in that
Yes,
frequency.
they're very high frequency beings. They're some of them are earth based and some of them are dimensional based. Some of them travel, and some of them are even star based. So yes, but
Yeah,
they vibrate in a very high frequency. My property is very 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 protected, and they are what part of the beings that protect my property. So yeah, they're
yeah.
very
So
loving.
and that's the thing. And that's why uh, April and I are working together because we're supposed to be. There was something when I first met you. I didn't know it at the time, but then I said, "There's something with Friends with Fairies and I. We're supposed to work together because we're operating in very high frequencies,
Yes.
and that's what it is." And so yeah, and we're going to learn more about what's happening with the beings that know me that are the Palladians now, the angelic that are angelic and have a radiant light to them. So I'm very intrigued with April on this, and as we progress with this, if we both feel that there are things we can share here, we will. You know how the show is. We're about this whole thing of openness and everything, but we all know there's things that we'll have to be doing quietly to figure whatever it is they want us to figure out. And I'll learn a little bit more from April on this too, because it's just a beautiful thing. All of you out there will have experiences now, I think, or you already are having the experiences
Yeah, that's
with,
the other thing too, is that they also said that people's experiences are going to be happening a lot more because a lot more of them are coming into our atmosphere, and they're waiting for each other. They're all waiting for all these different beings, and they're all over the world now. They're just waiting, and they're contacting their families little by little, trying not to scare, startle, or push anybody away because they want this contact to be peaceful and they want it to
mm,
be loving. So that's what I do know. But what else they have to share, I don't know. But we'll find out. Stay tuned.
yes. And this woman, Susan Scarlato, says, I've been having terrible experiences. There are ways, Susan, to turn the experiences that you've had around not to being terrible, and not even if you're having negative ET experiences, there's a way to stop that. And part of it is, and we should bring Susan up here if she wants to come up here. I can, she's been on here before. So I try to, if she's able to come up, we'll answer, we'll help her out. We're going to help Susan out.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey, Susan, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Now, I know you said you have had negative experiences, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And and can you tell us how long those experiences, years or months or whatever, how long they've been going on for?
Just the last few months that's been happening.
Okay. And before that, what was life like?
Quiet, everything was going smooth.
Mhm.
And now it's just totally different now.
Mhm. And the experiences you're having now, can you tell us, are they, in terms of extraterrestrial intelligence, are you having experiences with some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence?
Yes.
Okay. And have you seen this extraterrestrial intelligence that has been connecting to you or connecting with you?
No.
You haven't seen them. So tell us what kind of experience it is. I want to know what it is, and if it's bad, I'm gonna give you some information how to stop it. Would you like to stop it?
Yes.
Okay. So if I give you some things to do, a little bit of work to do, you'll be able to stop it.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more, and our audience here, what is going on? Like this, what are they doing?
You're just causing havoc in my daily life. And okay, so I'm moving and just everything with the whole process of it, because I deal with the Palladians and they're not the Palladians. I don't know who they are, but they're causing havoc. And I feel like there's an internal war going on between the two.
And this war that's going on, is it happening on your property?
Yes.
So these two different types of beings, the Palladians and this other group, are having a galactic battle on your property?
Yes.
Now, are you able to hear it, or do you see it?
I see it.
You see it. So do you think it's a battle on your property, or again, I'm questioning things just because I'm trying to have our audience get a better idea.
Because I feel that they're protecting me and my property, but this other entity or whatever it is trying to come in.
So this other entity, this other ET is not a Palladian, but you feel that the energy of this other one is totally negative.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here's how you do it. Here's how you stop it. And maybe Friends with Theory has some things, because she works in a high state of frequency. Here's how you're going to stop it. You're going to say that you are a Christed being of light. You're empowered as a Christed being of light. They cannot touch you. This particular ET cannot go into your area. And just if the ET tries to come near you, just say, also, I am a representative of the Ashtar Command. And if you say that, so I'm with the Ashtar Command, just say, I am a star person with the Ashtar Command, a Christed being of light, and I do not allow you, whatever ET race you are, to communicate with me. You are to get out of here and put a what I call a bubble of protection over your whole area. So when you do this, you're going to say, I can put a bubble of protection around my property, including every space in my house will be cleared of any lower vibrational ETs. And by doing this, and also the angels too, very good God, you'll have this activity decrease or stop. So if you have the Palladians there what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you a little bit. I'm going to send a spaceship to your location. Where are you located?
In New York, upstate New York, Rochester.
Upstate New York, Rochester. Okay, I've done this before for my friend in Plainfield, Vermont, and we got rid of reptilians that were in a cave under his house in the woods. So I'm going to do something right now. I do this every once in a while because now I realize, wait a minute, I can just send a ship over there. So I'm going to send an Ashtar Command ship to your location. Give me a moment. There are going to be three men and two women. They're going to appear over your location temporarily until this is fixed. There's something going on, so we're going to send a ship. The ship is actually cloaked, but it will be
Yes.
at your location. The beings from the command, they should be there tonight. They will actually appear to be on your property, and they are going to protect you. There will be a clearing of energy from these other ETs that are not good. The command will work with getting them out of there. We're going to
Thank
help
you
you.
so much.
And then the other thing too, as far as your protection bubble, now I would suggest standing in the wherever the most center of your house is, stand in that center and imagine that protective bubble just expanding out from you, and just keep repeating, I am a Christed being of light. Nothing else can get through this bubble, and expand that bubble as far out as you can imagine, and your end of your property is, and hold it, just hold it for a few minutes, and that bubble of protection will stick. And then with the commander ships coming and the Palladians helping with these beings being there, they're obviously trying to protect you. So the bubble of protection is like basically your personal protection, and the Ashtar command and the Palladians are going to fight these beings off and make sure that they don't come back.
And the other thing, Susan, is actually, let me just think for a moment here. We're going to send a few more from the ship down. You'll have 10 Ashtar Command personnel from the ship on your property. Within the next 24 to 48 hours, they should be there. You might physically see them if they decide to show themselves. They'll be wearing space outfits. They will be able to go into your physical home, so don't be scared. They are going to clear the area and make sure these other beings are not there. Once the command personnel from the ship are on your property, give me a moment. These other ETs will be afraid of them. The reason why, because they're operating in a radiant light that is way, way higher than these other beings. So what these other beings are afraid of is that frequency that they operate in, which is the command operates in a cosmic Christed frequency that is so high up. So they're going to be afraid of it, and but we're going to make sure, they're saying they'll make sure that they leave. They're going to send them back to where they came from, and you should be able to have a peace. Do you have any selenite crystals in your house?
Yes.
Good. Selenite's a good activator of light. I would make sure you have selenite slabs and put them in the window areas. Those are very helpful. The amethyst, and also apophyllite. Do you have any apophyllite?
No, not that one, but I have the other two.
Okay. Well, when you go to a crystal store, a good one, ask for apophyllite. That is, it comes from India, but it's a very high frequency vibrational pattern type of crystal. And that'll also amp up the vibrational frequencies But then what they're going to do after the command leaves, what you need to do is always say that I'm a Christed being of light. I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command. I put a bubble of protection around my property, and the only contacts that I will allow are the Palladians and all the Christed beings of light that I'm connected to with the Palladians. And if you do that as a mantra, you'll have no more problems. But right now, I think in the next whatever it takes to do this, when they leave, you'll have no more problems with these other
Thank you
ETs.
so much. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Oh, you're most
you.
welcome. You're most welcome. It's now 1:35 a.m. in the morning, and we hit 100,000, folks. Thank you, everybody. The only thing we haven't hit is 100 gifts. So let me see. I'm going to test this. I'm like half joking. I want to see if we can get 100 different gifts tonight before I go off the air. You think, April, I can do it?
Oh, I think you can do it. Let's see. Uh-oh.
Let's
Here we
see. I
go.
want to
Here we
see.
go. Here we
I,
go.
I always like to start with high numbers because you never know.
Here we uh-oh. Oh, look at Rabbit's getting into it. He's coming out of his hole. Rabbit's into it. Uh-oh, Kit Kat. Kit Kat ain't having that. She's not having
Susan. No, she's not having
it.
it.
Go, Kit Kat,
So
go.
look, Susan Scarlett's going crazy. Look at that. This is great.
Susan, oh, there we go, 24.
I
Oh,
got a
you're
cream cone
definitely
too.
gonna hit
Wow.
this. The rabbit's throwing fire at you. Oh, are you sure that's fire, Rabbit? You didn't fart there.
He's got the fire going,
Throwing
man.
rabbit balls at you.
Kit Kat. Yeah, she got the hard puff.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
got
she
lightning
did. That's
bolts going.
cute.
Lightning bolts. Oh,
I like the
that's
heart puff.
yeah, the GG thingy.
Here we go.
I got ice cream cone.
Oh, you got
There
the
you
corn.
go.
You got the corn.
You know,
You
you
got
gotta have
9 of
some
those.
corn and then the ice cream. Yeah, the corn's good.
Oh, look at that kid. Oh, Kit Kat's like, no, no. Oh God, we got a battle going on here. Look at this.
Yeah, you gotta bring Rabbit Hole up here. Wait a minute. He's gonna. This is great. I can sit here and watch this all night. I can just sit here and watch all this. This is
He threw
great.
you a puffer heart. Oh, there's your.
Oh
There's
wow!
your
I got a
galaxy.
galaxy. Wow! I just got a galaxy.
I want to see that whale. That whale is
Let's see.
awesome.
And I think can I do another one? Send a new one.
Sending all the gifts to Commander.
Oh, this is great. Oh, you know what I'm going to do now? There's a rose thing here. I'm doing the roses next. It changes. I have to figure out how to control that part. So I just put another thing up here.
Aw.
Oh, I got a helmet, man. This is great.
That's a good look for you, Commander.
You better do the dance, Commander.
I know.
I can't. I pulled my muscle, so I got to take it easy, man.
Did you pull your muscle in the garden, or is it still too cold for gardening?
I was going to be in the garden over the weekend, but a couple of days before I pulled it in the house, I was walking, and all of a sudden I felt something, and I've been using a heating pad. I've been taking stuff, and it's getting less and less. But I've been also doing my Christed prayers and saying, well, since I've healed other people, I need to heal myself here.
Yeah, don't forget.
Got some ice cream cones
to
going on.
Everybody should go get a nice chiropractor adjustment every now and then too.
Oh yeah.
And a good massage. What the hell? You could have certainly your
That one threw me off.
Commander's
That's the chicken. You had a whole chicken in your head.
Chicken is a chicken.
That's a whole new meaning of chicken head.
I've never
Gotta do the chicken dance.
Chicken head.
Man, I've never seen that in my life. It's great. Good thing. Yeah, I'm going to stay home tomorrow too. I'm taking it easy. I'm taking a day off from work. I got a duck. What is that?
That is
Hey,
so
it's a duck.
cute.
That's a duck. This is great.
I haven't seen that one. That's cute.
And because you're being so good, I'm going to just let everyone keep going at it. It's really a lot of fun when people can challenge each other in a beautiful way, do all this gifting, and I can sit here, Rabbit can sit here, April can sit here. We're just going to watch. So you're watching the ending of the show, where it's not so serious, and Amber started up again with the roses. Okay, there you go. So you got the
Yeah, I'm
roses
surprised
going.
Kit Kat ain't having that. Kit Kat's the Rose Queen.
I got a star. Got the star going here. Wow. We go roses, star. What else
I
is going to
think
happen?
Kit Kat gave
Yeah,
all
see,
her.
look
Oh,
at I
oh, never
told you she
mind. Let me
wasn't
shut
having it.
up.
She wasn't having
Let me
it.
just
She's like,
shut up.
Susan. Uh-oh, here we
Kit Kat's
go.
like,
There's a
no, I'm
war.
the Rose Queen. She is
12.
too.
Oh, she's going. Kit Kat's going nuts there. Tammy Lou, she's got the heart puff thing going. Wow.
Commander,
Yeah.
Oh, there's your
before
dinky
before we
dino.
end the show,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you if you've seen this video floating around of the large upside down pyramid craft.
Not yet. Have
I
you?
haven't been. I saw it, and you know who had it up? UFO Mania.
Oh,
Our
over in
friend from
Japan.
Japan. He had it up, and then it was gone. And you know he gets some pretty good videos.
Oh, he does. UFO Mania in Japan. Yeah. I wonder why it's
And
gone. Maybe he had.
this was gone, and it was an upside down pyramid, but not like the pyramids like Giza, more like a really thin isosceles type
No.
pyramid, and it had a light in the middle of it, and this thing was passing through the trees, and I'm looking at this video. It's so
Wow.
smooth, and the way it starts moving up and into the atmosphere, I'm like, man, that is not a CGI. There's
No,
no
that
way.
can't be.
There's no way some nerd in his basement is making something that looks that real.
No, I'd like to see it. I'll have to. I
And
should
I'm a
contact
nerd,
him.
so I could say that.
Well, I wonder if I think UFO Mania, he might speak English. I know he speaks Japanese, but I've been, I visited.
His wife speaks English, and they actually go on in the morning, and you can get into the chat with them in the mornings.
Yeah, I've been in there. I periodically. I love to visit. I wish I spoke Japanese, but it's good they speak English. That really helps. There's so much stuff going in Japan. That area with the history of UFOs, a lot of stuff in Japan over the years. It's a fascinating area for ufology in terms of studying it. So now I forgot what I was going to say, but it is getting about almost near 2. I'll be on tomorrow night around 11 o'clock with another Encounters. Hopefully more interviews. We had this, I don't know if you missed it, Rabbit, or not. Right? We had Mary in the Appalachian Mountains.
I heard it. Yeah. I was listening. That was awesome.
That was awesome. And she's going to talk to her husband, and we're going to experiment with the possibilities that her husband could have the giants wherever he talks to them, and they can have their the thing live on their TikTok, and we might be able to see a giant and communicate with them.
These things are 10 to 15 feet tall.
Yeah, that's what she was saying in
And it's so
Montreux.
funny that she said that, because I saw a video of this guy saying that more and more people are seeing giants.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I haven't seen anything, but that is starting to happen now too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have people on my show like this, like Mary, who was great, a person that's really telling a true story, it. And, in the mountains of the Appalachians, that would make sense that there could be a galactic Stargate, or they could be, they might live in the mountains somewhere. Those are possibilities too.
Yeah, it could be just, we don't know what's going on out there, and things can go easily unnoticed, like Bigfoot and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
We already know that giants were around, and maybe they're smarter. I think people take it for granted. They're probably just as smart as we are, if not smarter.
Oh yeah, definitely. And not only that, the giants are still around. We know that archaeologists have found the bones of giants in different parts of the world. But just like anything else, you can find bones of somebody who died 100 years ago that was from whatever century, whatever state, or wherever they were, and say, well, there's a human being that was 5'10", and it looks like they died 57 years ago. Okay, so what does that mean? So are there other humans that might have been looking like that one? And so what I'm saying is, I think that the fact is, we know that the giants existed, but I think now we have to say that the giants exist, because maybe they always existed, but something happened where some of them died on the surface. If they were living there, it could have been earth changes or something. But now we're finding that these giants live in the woods or live in areas that are in the mountains, and that kind of makes sense, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I know this has nothing to do with the topic, but I was watching clips from the interview with Vladimir Putin, and he was talking about um, genetic testing and them, like, governments making superhumans. And he was also talking about how there is a spiritual type of warfare going on. So it was, I mean, I don't agree with the guy, but I mean, at least somebody in the world scale is acknowledging it.
Yeah, no, really, and that is, it's just these people in power. I don't know if I want to ever. I don't know what he means by superhuman, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's
no, like,
interesting.
like steroids, but more like
Oh,
they're
steroids,
advanced.
yeah,
But he's talking about incorporating technology. Like he was talking about Elon Musk and all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on over there.
yeah. And there's also been in Siberia, in I think it's the eastern part of what was the Russian area. There's the Ural Mountains, I think, and there's this other range where there's a lot of UFO activity in Russia. They have a lot of that going on in Russia.
I think Putin might be an alien.
Well, he wouldn't be one of the good ones, maybe.
No,
Yes, my
he's one of
name
the
is
ones with the green skin and the reptile face.
Yeah.
yes. I am Putin the alien, PT alien. My name is Putin. What Putin means is,
Yes,
uh,
my friends, I bring to you
yeah,
message from Mother Russia. The Palladians are coming down to take you
yes,
back to their planet.
to Moscow Square.
Yes, come
We
to
will.
Moscow and meet the Palladian.
Yes, they're landing soon in 2024. It'll be broadcast on Russian TV, only on Russian TV.
You know what?
They'll,
I would believe that the Russians would show it first before anybody.
Right.
I think they probably, in that case, they would. I think if they were actually seriously,
They would want to, yeah, they would want to be the first ones to like come out with it for sure.
they would, because the U.S. would be covering it up, trying to say it never happened.
Be like, hi, this is Ryan Seacrest live from Moscow. I'm here with Vladimir Putin. Yes, thank you. I am here with Ambassador from Ashtar Command. He is telling me to go get man commander from Connecticut. He is going to come to Moscow.
Hey, hello there. Sometimes it's me. Total vibration of show changing. That's probably because we're hopefully the vibration is changing in a very loving, comical way as we get to the end of the night here. So for sure, I think we have so many beautiful things to look forward to. We have a new year. The weather's getting warmer. It will be. And I think our ability to be more open in our consciousness to contact now is going to be really key. I think a lot of you will have more contact. You'll have different contacts. Some of you will have contact for the first time, so to speak. So, really, I think, when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever's going to happen, but always make sure you're protected, because through the C5s, again, I can't impress you to enough people how the C5s will assist by using like Dr. Greer's protocol or learning the Ashtar protocol. And we'll be getting into two major C5s we're doing in New England, in Connecticut. I know Grace will have more information on that when she's on here one of the nights this week. We're a little bit of ways from April, but I'm thinking we'll be promoting both of these C5s. The one in Ledyard, there'll be places for people potentially to stay. So if you want to come to one of our, for the second one, which will be more where we have an indoor area, so to speak, when Grace is on, she can tell me more about that. I know some people in the New England, New York State area might want to think about joining us. So with that said, it's almost 2 a.m. I should be able to get some sleep. I want to bless everybody here and the Christ energies of light. And I want to thank you all for being here on Encounters, the #1 social media spiritual UFO talk show. Matter of fact, we're better than any network in the world. ABC, CBS, BBC, China TV, Russia, whatever. Who cares?
We are #1 in all of Russia.
Oh, that's right. Encounters is #1 in Russia.
Commander, I wanted to tell everybody, when everybody wakes up in the morning, if we consciously do some good, positive, self-affirmations, start your day off with a good, positive prayer, really start your day off with that high vibration level and carry it throughout the day. We've got a new week starting. It's Monday, and I'm challenging everybody to get out there and shine your light bright.
With that said, everybody, let's all do it. I want to thank James, who's been my co-host at times when he has time, because he's in the rabbit hole and doing a lot of stuff. And then I want to thank April, who's working with me with some stuff we're having happening with communications with our space brothers and sisters. And we'll see you all tomorrow night. And if you were watching the football game, if you had a team you like tonight, in the end of the thing of the whole football thing, I'm not always watching football, but it was really kind of fun to do. And that's after that I got on here to the live. But it was fun to see people playing. And so the team I went for, I was actually going for on Earth. I went for the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a
Go
tough game.
Chiefs!
It was a tough game if you were watching it, but
it was a
they
great
made it.
game.
And at the end, that touchdown was like, talk about great. But it was. So
My daughter had her Patrick Mahomes jersey on, and when that touchdown came, I got a video of her falling on her knees crying.
There you go. See. So, and I tell you, I'm not a sportscaster, but it looked like for a while the 49ers were going to take it, but I knew at the end there had to be something good happening. So, in all, it's just a game. I'm sure everyone will go home and that's it. So I'm going to sign out of here, folks. This has been a great night, ending towards the lighter aspects of life. And we'll see you tomorrow night on another edition of Encounters. April, take care. Sleep well.
You too. Good night, Commander. Good night, everybody. Good night,
Take
my
care.
bearded friend.
That's right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Let's do this. Yep, bye.